welcome to the show. It is the ISO show coming to you on a Thursday. It is Thursday, April 28th. All of the game twos in the NBA playoffs have been played. So now we head to the pivotal game three in all of these series. So it's a good time to check in, look where we are with the series. And most importantly, a lot of people have been hitting me up asking me for bets, for picks, for plays, parlays, all that stuff. So I think people are looking for somebody to blame for when the parlay doesn't hit. So if that's what you're looking for, I'll be the guy. That's fine. I'll give y'all picks. And then when they don't hit, you can hit me up and, curse me out or whatever it is that you're going to do. I know that's how people roll sometimes. But all jokes aside, hopefully we can get some winners. There's a couple things that I like in the three games from tonight. So we'll do a little recap of the series, where we are in the three games that are being played today, and we'll give some picks and we'll get up out of here. But let's start out, of course, with the New York Knicks heading into Detroit, coming off of a game two loss, and they're going to be taking on the Pistons. Knicks are favored by 1.5 points, short favorites on the road in a game two. Right off the bat, I really like the Knicks. I like the Knicks minus the 1.5. I came into the series thinking Knicks should be able to handle this in about 5-6 games. I've been sort of all over the place with this series as the regular season was coming to a close and the Pistons were starting to really look feisty. And I've been a big fan of the Pistons for the last 2 years. I thought maybe they might give the Knicks some trouble. I still always expected the Knicks to win, but I thought maybe they'd give the Knicks some trouble, push it to maybe a 6-game, 7-game series. But then more I thought about it, more I looked at the numbers, I just figured the Knicks, with all the experience that they have and the expectations that they have, I expected them to be able to close out the series pretty handily. I just don't think that, despite how well Detroit has played, I don't think that they're there yet. But very difficult to say that coming off of the most recent game two that they played. But I don't shy away. I don't let one game dictate how we feel about the series. I still haven't really, there's some concerning things from the Knicks, but I still haven't seen enough to make me think that they're in danger of losing this series. However, obviously, Karl-Anthony Towns in the most recent game, hitting you up with a 10-6, that does not get the job done. 10.6 rebounds, no points in the fourth quarter of a tight game, only 3 points in the second half. That is concerning. But I think Cat has a bounce-back game, so I will say right off the bat, one of my picks for this game would be a double-double for Cat. I think he gets to 10 rebounds, and if he's shy of 10 points, all bets are off. Huge problems if he can't get to 10 points. But I do expect him to be cleaning up the glass in this game, because I think the Knicks understand, coming off of a loss, how desperate they are right now. I think they're hearing a lot of the conversation around the Knicks. Surprisingly, I don't understand why anybody would be criticizing Jalen Brunson, but I'm hearing a lot of Jalen Brunson criticism out there about he doesn't pass the ball enough, he's playing hero ball, which tends to be the conversation. It's all good when he's playing hero ball, when he's dropping 40 and 50 pieces in the playoffs last season and carrying them to wins. But when it doesn't result in a win, you're a ball hog, you're playing hero ball. But I'm not worried about Jalen Brunson. The only thing I'm worried about with Jalen Brunson is we've only played 2 playoff games. He had a long layoff where he was out with the ankle injury, came back right before the playoffs started, and then they didn't have to obviously play in the play-in games. So he should have gotten enough rest, but this is back-to-back games 1 and 2. In both games, he has left the court mid-game to go back to the locker room mysteriously, whether it has been to get retaped or the ankle checked or change his shoes or whatever the case may be. It was all cute and funny when Tibbs was asked about it at the end of game 1, and he's like, oh, he went to put the cape on, and nobody really said anything about it. Now they lost the game. There's no cape. How hurt is Brunson actually? Because if he's significantly hurt, then everything changes. Then the Knicks have no chance to advance anywhere in the playoffs. They're probably not going to get past the Pistons if Brunson is forced to miss a game or miss any significant time in a game, because these games have all been pretty tight. As far as the Pistons go, Pistons have played well. Pistons have outplayed the Knicks for the most part. I mean, you could say aside from that 21-0 run at the end of game one in the fourth quarter, aside from that period of time, Pistons have outplayed the Knicks. Aside from that period of time, the Knicks have been outplayed by the Pistons so far in the first two games. Mikal Bridges put up a big dud stinker in the first game. Second game had a little bit of a bounce back game, at least from a scoring standpoint. But if you watched that game and you saw the end of the game, missed a bunch of opportunities to either put the Knicks ahead or tie the game up. He went ice cold from the field. But as far as the Pistons go, Pistons have played well. Pistons have outplayed the Knicks for the majority of the first two games. Aside from the 21-0 run, Pistons have been feisty, and Cade Cunningham had a little bit of his breakout game in game two. I think he's going to have a green light, so his points are going to be over. But I do think that the Knicks will rise to the occasion. I think that they can take that game two loss at home as them being in a little bit of a desperation spot. Obviously, 7-game series being tied 1-1 is not necessarily desperation, but I think they're going to be looking to immediately get back home court in Detroit in this game 3. They've had 2 games rest. Whatever's been ailing Jalen Brunson and has forced him to go back into the locker room in the first 2 games has had a little bit of a chance to heal. Hopefully he doesn't have to leave the court in game 3. If he can stay on the court, I think the Knicks should win this game. I think a line of -1.5, only 2-point game, I think that's way too short. A team that was very heavily favored coming into the series, coming into the playoffs. Obviously, what we've seen out of the first 2 games may change that, but for me, I don't change that quickly. I think we still stick with the Knicks to win the series, as long as they still have a healthy Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. And I think they win this game, and I think they win it by more than 1.5. So I'm going to take the Knicks in this game, minus the 1.5. That's going to be the pick for game 1 in tonight's slate of NBA games. A couple of other bets that I like for the Knicks-Pistons game tonight. I still think the books have not caught up to the Mitchell Robinson rebound line. Mitchell Robinson's rebound line is still only 5.5. He got over 5.5 rebounds in, I think, only 18 minutes in game 1. His minutes have been gradually increasing as each game goes. I think he's going to get at least 20 minutes in this game. As critical as I'm sure Tom Thibodeau knows this game's going to be, I think he's not going to be holding off on the Mitchell Robinson minutes. I think he gets a full slate of minutes. And as long as Mitchell Robinson is getting full minutes, I think he easily goes over 5.5 boards. So I'm going to take Mitchell Robinson's over 5.5 rebounds. A little bit of juice at the -120. If you want to add it into a parlay, knock yourself out. But yeah, I like Mitchell Robinson rebounds over 5.5. And I like Mitchell Robinson rebounds plus points over 9.5 at plus money, plus 100 at DK right now. So those are 2 picks that I really like in that Knicks-Piston game 3 matchup right now. And then moving on to the second game of the night. The second game, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. The sad, sorry Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder, the juggernaut that is the Oklahoma City Thunder at this moment in time. As far as betting picks for this game, the only pick I can almost guarantee you is that the Thunder will win this game. I can guarantee you the Thunder are going to win the series. Memphis has no chance to get out of this series, but this has sweep written all over it. Obviously, I don't want to overreact to the game 1 where they got blown out by 50, but I mean, this is what happens when you fire your coach, with 20 seconds left in the season. I mean, obviously, I'm exaggerating on the 20 seconds, but To me, you fire your coach. Not only is it an adjustment of the game plan, but it just tells the locker room, tells the squad, and even tells the fans that this ain't gonna be it. This ain't gonna be it for us this year. And as much as they could say publicly that they're trying to give a spark, I think they're already kind of resigned to the idea that this is done. The Cancun flights have been booked. The bags are packed. I think Memphis will put up a little bit of a fight in terms of offensively, but I don't think that they have it in them to do what it's going to take on the defensive end to even really make these games too competitive. And Oklahoma City just looks like they are not playing around at all. They're not taking any games off. They look like they're just going to. I won't be surprised if they come out more desperate in this game, up 2-0 on the road, than Memphis does. Really can't trust Memphis. The only thing I would say is if I wanted to place a bet, make a pick, I would probably just put together a parlay of just a crazy high long parlay and just throw a dart, throw a lotto ticket. There were a couple of things that I looked at that I liked. I like Zach Edey under 7.5 points. He's only taken 5 shots from the field in the first 2 games of the series. He has 4 points in the first 2 games of the series. I just think the combination of Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein, he's not going to be able to score. And even if he had an opportunity to score, I just think young dude, rookie, I don't even know that he wants the ball in his hands. He wants to be out there, but with Ja and Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson, as soon as the ball gets in Edey's hands, unless he has a very, very clean, easy look, he's going to be looking to get that ball out of his hands. He's out there for defense and rebounding purposes. I don't think he's trying to put up a ton of shots. He's only, like I said, he's only taken 5 so far in the series. So despite the super duper low number at under 7.5, you get plus money at most books with that number. And I still feel like you're asking him to make 4 field goals, and I just don't think I don't think he's got 4 field goals in him in this game. I don't know how many minutes he's going to get. His minutes might be down in this game as well. Because if OKC decides that they want to go to a small lineup, maybe Memphis might try to come into this game and go a little bit smaller and try to see if they can outpace OKC. I don't really know what to expect from Memphis, to be honest, but I do feel like Zach Edey's points plus rebounds, those numbers are just a little too high because rookie dude seems kind of like a fish out of water. OKC has proven they have the size. His only real advantage in any NBA game is that if there's another team that really doesn't have a big to contend with him, Memphis can use him as an advantage. OKC has 2 bigs that can deal with him. So I just don't like Zach. This is not the series for Zach Edey. And besides Zach Edey, I like Lu Dort over 5.5 rebounds plus assists. I think he's going to get the minutes. I think Memphis is going to, like I said, I think they're going to turn up the pace, put up shots. Lu Dort's going to get some rebound opportunities. And through the regular season, he averaged one of his highest assist average game teams that he played against. Let me try to say that again. One of the teams that Lu Dort averages the most assists against this season was the Memphis Grizzlies. He averaged 3 assists in 4 games, and I don't think he averaged 3 assists against any other team. So for whatever reason, he finds opportunities for both rebounds and assists. So I like him over 5.5 rebounds plus assists. I think Shea will make 2 threes. He made 2 threes in the last game, and I just think that he can do whatever he wants against this Memphis team defensively. And I just think he's going to be fine, letting it fly a little bit in this game. So don't really love anything in this game, but those are sort of the looks that I'm looking at. And as far as the series just as a whole, aside from the betting, it's not a really interesting series for me. I'm just looking forward to them getting Memphis up out of there and see who Oklahoma City has in the next round. And then for the third game of the night, the big one, the hottest series so far of this first round, I think by consensus, has been Denver and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers took the most recent game. Denver won game 1 in an overtime thriller. Now they go back to the Intuit Dome, and we're going to see if Denver can bounce back from the most recent loss. I think this is where the Clippers take control of the series. I think it's a big scoring night for Jokic. I like Jokic's points. I like Jokic's rebounds even more. The books right now still have him at only over 11.5 rebounds. I think Jokic knows that the only way that they're gonna even contend in this series is if he does pretty much everything, because he's not getting a ton of help from really anybody else. That's why I feel like this could very well be one of those, crazy, unbelievable Jokic stat games. But I feel confident that he's the only one out there rebounding. Michael Porter has been a no-show. Aaron Gordon he's out there trying to do his thing, but I think they're going to need Jokic to grab more than 12 rebounds. So I like Jokic's rebounds over. I like the Clippers to win the game. I like the Clippers minus the 5.5. I don't love giving 5.5 points. If you don't want to take the Clippers minus the 5.5, I like the Clippers team total over. I think it's only at 108 right now. So that's another play that I like. And just as far as the overview of the series, I think there was the Clippers have been a lot of people's sleeper team coming into this playoffs on the Western Conference. And I think over the first two games, a lot of that has been validated. And I don't think they're a sleeper anymore. I think people now that people see Kawhi is healthy, obviously Kawhi goes off last game, shows us everything that people thought Kawhi could be in his career, which has sort of been kind of hamstrung by injuries. But when Kawhi is healthy, the Clippers are a different type of team, different type of contender in the West. As long as Kawhi is going to be out there, I think we got to flip the way we look at the series. Either way, I think now with the Clippers having secured home court, but a lot of people, from what I've heard, I have not been to the Intuit Dome, but for what I hear, it is a legitimate home court advantage because of the fan wall and all this other crap. It's going to be their first playoff game in their home arena, their new home arena. So I think that's going to be a big deal. Not that the Nuggets won't be able to handle, a chaotic road atmosphere, but I just think that plays into the Clippers' hands. Veteran team, and I think Ty Lue, at the end of the day, Ty Lue is a serious coach, and the Nuggets fired their coach, so they have they're not serious about the coach at all. Clearly, I don't know what their interim coach is going to be ultimately, but as of right now, if you're telling me I can take a team that has fired their coach right before the end of the season versus a team that essentially has two head coaches, because not only do the Clippers have Ty Lue, they got Jeff Van Gundy walking up and down the sidelines too, like he's a second head coach, taking care of all the defensive assignments and all that stuff. So Clippers are a really well-coached team. With Kawhi healthy, they're going to be a real problem, not only for the Nuggets, but for whoever they play in the second round, which is where I assume they will be. So give me the Clippers to win that final game of the night. And that's going to do it for this short, quick pick episode of the ISO show. We're going to be doing NFL draft later on this evening. Not my specialty. We'll leave it to the homies. I'm sticking and focusing on the NBA. I'll have more picks for tomorrow's games. Foreshadowing of that. My hat and the hoodie. We might have to fear the deer coming up, but we'll get to that next time. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Those are the picks. Hopefully they hit. Let's get some money. If not, you could blame me, so you don't got to go back and tell your wifey that you could tell her, oh, this guy, it's his fault. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to do. Do what you got to do. Till next time, 3 to the dome. Peace.